I own a small coffee shop in downtown Portland. 12 tables. Decent coffee. Just a neighborhood spot. Last Tuesday morning around 10 a.m., a young man walked in carrying professional camera equipment. Ring lights, tripod, reflectors. He said he was an influencer with 50,000 Instagram followers and wanted to do a content shoot in my cafe. I said, okay, order something and feel free to take photos. He laughed like I misunderstood. He said no, he needed the entire cafe cleared for 2 hours. All customers needed to leave. He would take over the space for his photo shoot and in exchange would tag my cafe in his posts. I thought he was joking. He was not. I explained I had 10 customers currently in the shop paying for coffee. I could not ask them to leave so he could take photos. The young man looked genuinely confused. Do you understand how many people will see your cafe? 50,000 followers. That is free advertising worth thousands of dollars. I told him yes. I was saying no. Those 10 customers spend about $5 each. That is $50 of actual revenue. His Instagram post would give me $0. He shook his head. This was short-sighted business thinking, and I was missing an incredible opportunity. He left without buying anything. 2 hours later, he posted about how small businesses do not understand modern marketing. I screenshot the entire conversation and posted it from my cafe's account. My caption was, "This is what small business owners deal with. Followers do not pay rent. Likes do not buy coffee beans." My post got 20,000 shares in 3 days. Local news picked it up. The influencer deleted his post and apologized. But he had already lost 2 brand sponsorships. My friend Sarah owns a small boutique clothing store. She sells handmade items from local designers. Beautiful pieces. Everything is expensive because it is high quality and ethically made. One afternoon, a woman in her 20s walked in. She introduced herself as Brianna, with 30,000 Instagram followers. She wanted to discuss a collaboration. Sarah asked what kind of collaboration. Brianna explained her idea. She would select about $1,000 worth of clothing from the store. She would photograph herself wearing it for Instagram and tag the store. In exchange for this exposure, Sarah would give her all the clothes for free. Sarah politely declined. Brianna looked shocked. She said, "I do not think you understand. I am offering you exposure. 30,000 people will see your clothing. That will drive traffic to your store. That will result in sales." Sarah said, "I appreciate the offer, but I cannot give away $1,000 of inventory for social media posts." Brianna insisted this was a mutually beneficial partnership. Sarah explained her position clearly. "I pay rent with money. I pay suppliers with money. I pay myself a salary with money. Exposure does not pay any of those bills. If you want the clothes, you can purchase them." Brianna got defensive. She said Sarah did not understand modern marketing. Influencer partnerships are how businesses grow. Traditional advertising is dead. Sarah remained calm. If social media is so valuable, why do you need free clothes? Why not buy them with the money you make from your influence? Brianna did not have an answer. Sarah said, "You are asking me to give you valuable products for free and trust that your followers will somehow turn into my customers. That is not a business model. That is charity." Brianna became angry. She said Sarah was being difficult and unreasonable. She said other stores would kill for this exposure. Sarah said, "Then go to those other stores." Brianna said she would remember this. She would make sure people knew how this store treated content creators. Brianna left and immediately posted a long rant on Instagram. She wrote about how small businesses are hostile to influencers. She said Sarah's boutique had terrible customer service and did not respect content creators. She told her followers to avoid the store. Sarah saw the post within an hour. She screenshot the entire conversation, including Brianna's messages, asking for $1,000 of free merchandise. She posted it from the boutique's account with an explanation. This is what small business owners face constantly. 30,000 followers do not manufacture clothing. They do not pay for fabric. They do not keep the lights on. The post exploded. 100,000 likes in 2 days. Other business owners shared their own stories. Fashion bloggers and legitimate influencers supported Sarah. News outlets wrote articles. Brianna tried to defend herself, but the backlash was overwhelming. She deleted her post and apologized. 2 brands she had sponsorship deals with dropped her. She lost 5,000 followers in a week. Sarah told me she receives at least 1 request like this per month. She has a standard response now. If they want to be featured in her marketing, they can pay her advertising rates, which start at $500. Suddenly, nobody wants to collaborate anymore. My cousin manages a popular Italian restaurant in Seattle. Nice place, always busy. They take reservations and tables turn over every 2 hours during dinner service. One Saturday night, they had a reservation for 2 people at 8 p.m. under the name Jason. Jason arrived alone at 8:15 carrying 2 ring lights, a tripod, and a large bag. The hostess showed him to his table. He immediately started unpacking equipment. He set up ring lights on either side. He positioned the tripod in the aisle. Other guests had to squeeze past. A server came to take his drink order. Jason said he would just have water. She asked if he was waiting for someone. He said no, his reservation was for 2, but it was just him. He needed the extra space for equipment. The server asked if he was ready to order. Jason ordered a Caesar salad. $12. The cheapest item on the menu. She asked if he wanted to add chicken or shrimp. He said no, just the salad. She asked if he wanted an appetizer or main course later. He said no, just the salad and water. The salad arrived. Jason did not eat it. He started photographing it. He took the salad apart and rearranged it. He added props from his bag. Artificial flowers. Decorative napkins. Colored glass beads. He photographed from every angle. His equipment blocked the aisle. Other diners stared. Some looked annoyed. An hour passed. Jason was still photographing. The server came back and asked if everything was okay. Jason said everything was fine. He was creating content. She said the table was reserved for 2 hours and they had other guests waiting. Jason looked up annoyed. He said he was not done yet. Another hour passed. Jason had been there for 2 hours and 15 minutes. He had spent $12. No tip. The restaurant was fully booked and people were waiting. My cousin went over. She introduced herself as the manager. Jason said it was fine, but the lighting was challenging for photography. My cousin said she noticed he had been photographing his food for over 2 hours. Jason said yes. He was a food blogger with 45,000 Instagram followers. This content would be great exposure. My cousin explained Saturday dinner reservations are limited to 2 hours. If he was not going to order more food, he needed to wrap up. Jason became indignant. Restaurants should be friendly to content creators. His posts bring business. They should be grateful he chose their restaurant. My cousin stayed calm. Sir, you have been occupying a 4-person table for over 2 hours. You ordered a $12 salad. You have not left a tip. This table normally turns over 3 to 4 times at an average of $100 per turn. You have cost us about $400 in lost revenue. Your Instagram post will not make up for that. Jason stood up angry. Content creators bring value and should be accommodated. Old-school restaurants that do not understand social media will be left behind. My cousin said, "We have a full restaurant every night because our food is good and our service is excellent. We do not need someone taking pictures of a $12 salad for 2 hours to stay in business." Jason packed up his equipment. He did not tip. He said he would be leaving a review. He posted on Instagram about how the restaurant was hostile to content creators and kicked him out. He gave them 1-star reviews on every platform. But other diners who had been there that night saw his posts. They left their own reviews explaining what actually happened. How he had blocked the aisle. How he had occupied a large table for hours with a $12 order. Jason's own followers started commenting. They said 2 hours was excessive. Within a week, Jason had lost 2,000 followers. He deleted the posts. He never apologized. After my coffee shop story went viral, I started receiving messages from other business owners sharing their influencer horror stories. These are real incidents that show how disconnected some influencers are from reality. Story 1. A lifestyle influencer walked into a Starbucks and told the barista she wanted a free drink in exchange for posting it on her Instagram story. The barista said no, drinks cost money. The influencer said she had 15,000 followers. This was valuable exposure. The barista said Starbucks has millions of customers and does not need her exposure. The influencer demanded a manager. The manager said the same thing. The influencer had a meltdown. Another customer pointed out that Starbucks is not a small business. Story 2. An influencer set up a full photo shoot at an airport gate, right at the boarding area. He had a photographer, lighting equipment, and costume changes. He blocked the boarding line while hundreds of passengers waited. Gate agents asked him to move. He said he was creating art, and art has no boundaries. Security was called. He argued he was expressing creativity. They explained he was blocking a federal boarding process. He was escorted out. He posted calling it censorship. Story 3. An influencer booked a hotel room for 7 nights at $900. After checking in, she emailed requesting a 50% discount in exchange for daily Instagram posts. The hotel said no. She threatened to cancel. They said that was her choice. She canceled and left a 1-star review saying the hotel did not support influencers. The hotel responded publicly with screenshots of her email. They explained legitimate partnerships are negotiated before booking, not after. Story 4. An influencer went to a public playground on Saturday afternoon. Families were there with children playing. She approached parents and asked them to remove their children for 30 minutes so she could photograph herself on the swings. Parents laughed, thinking she was joking. She was not. She said she needed the playground empty for her vision. Parents refused. She accused them of sabotaging creativity. One parent said public playgrounds are for children, not adult Instagram photo shoots. Story 5. An influencer walked around a mall approaching random strangers and demanding they pose in photos with him. He said he needed diverse content and they should feel honored. When people declined, he called them uncooperative. He told one woman she was ruining his shot by walking through his frame. She was just trying to get to a store. Security asked him to leave. Story 6. An influencer had a scheme buying expensive clothing, cutting off tags, photographing herself wearing it, then returning it saying it did not fit. She did this every week at the same store. Staff noticed the pattern. They checked her Instagram and saw their clothes in her posts. The store banned her from returns. She wrote about how the store discriminates against influencers. The store responded with surveillance footage showing her cutting tags in the dressing room. Story 7. An influencer demanded a free upgrade to business class on an international flight in exchange for posting about the airline. The agent said upgrades cost $2,000. He said his posts were worth more than $2,000. The agent said then he should buy the upgrade. He refused and flew economy. He posted angry tweets about the airline. The airline responded publicly. Upgrades cost $2,000. Your tweet is not worth $2,000. His followers agreed with the airline. Story 8. An influencer went to a hair salon and requested a service that cost $150. She said she would post about it and tag them, so they should do it for free. The salon owner said, "Great idea. I will do your hair for free if you do my social media marketing for free for the next 6 months. Full strategy, content creation, posting, engagement, analytics." The influencer said that was way too much work. The owner said, "Exactly. My work is also too much work to do for free." The influencer realized the hypocrisy and left quietly. After collecting these stories, I noticed a pattern. Every single one involves an influencer who genuinely believes their online presence has real-world value beyond what it actually does. They think followers equal power. They think likes equal currency. They think tags equal payment. They live in a bubble where digital metrics mean everything. One former influencer wrote an essay that went viral. He talked about how influencer culture creates a generation of people who do not understand the value of real work. When you spend all day chasing likes and engagement, you start to believe those numbers matter more than money or actual skills. You forget that businesses need revenue, not exposure. He wrote, We forgot that followers are not money. Likes are not payment. Tags are not collaboration. They are just numbers on a screen. And when you try to use those numbers as currency in the real world, you get a harsh reality check. Because the real world still runs on actual money, actual work, and actual value. I think about this every time someone walks into my coffee shop and expects special treatment because they have a social media following. They have confused attention with authority. They have confused popularity with power. They think because thousands of strangers double-tap their photos, that means local businesses should give them free products. The reality is most influencers bring very little actual value to small businesses. A post from someone with 50,000 followers might get a few hundred likes, maybe a dozen comments. Perhaps one or two people will actually visit because of that post. And those one or two people will probably not spend enough to cover the cost of whatever the influencer wanted for free. The influencers who understand this are the ones who succeed long-term. They approach businesses professionally. They pay for products like regular customers. They create genuine content because they actually like the business. When they are established enough, brands come to them with paid partnerships. But the clueless influencers who demand free everything in exchange for posts, those are the ones who end up on lists like this. Getting publicly called out. Losing followers. Learning the hard way that influence without revenue is just popularity. And popularity does not pay bills.